How's it going, Giants fans? My name is Alex with my co-host here, Anthony Rivardo, coming off another New York Giants victory. How does it feel to be a fan of an undefeated team right now? I honestly, after all the years of failing and all the years of just degrading play and emotional state, I don't know even how to feel. Like, how do I react? How do you react to wins anymore? I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm kind of progressing along with the rest of us, trying to figure out how to react to winning football games again. And honestly, I'm just stunned, like straight up shocked. Like, this was an ugly game, but the Giants found ways to win, right? And notably, their unbelievable defense. Wink Martindale has built an absolute unit. And that's not even saying it lightly. He was without Leonard Williams in the second half, without Aaron Robinson, without Kayvon Thibodeau, without Azeez Ojulari. And we're getting a ton of value from guys like O'Shane Ximines. Julian Love had an unbelievable game. We'll discuss that in a little bit. But then the offense, came up when it mattered most. There was a couple of big moments. Daniel Jones looked really, really bad in the first half. Bounced back, had a couple of really nice throws to Richie James, who's kind of become our WR1, which is like crazy to say, but Richie James definitely didn't expect him to be so good early on this year. He's on pace for almost 1,000 yards receiving, guys. Kenny Golladay barely played today. Kadarius Toney barely played today. Sterling Shepard had a couple of big plays, and Saquon Barkley was shut down for the most part until the end of the game where he had a couple of nice runs. But overall, we're going to discuss both sides of the football, what's going on here, reacting to this win. I couldn't be happier. I'm stunned. I'm shocked. But this is a gritty team that is coached very well. This is what you're seeing on the football field when we said before the season. Coaching can be the difference between winning and losing football games. What we're seeing right now is fantastic coaching and nothing more, nothing less. The players are overplaying how good they are. O'Shane Ximines has been bad for 3 years. He is way outplaying expectations. Coaching is really putting these guys in a place to succeed. They're making adjustments that are really, really helping them, just extrapolate on their strengths. And I think that's the thing. Good coaching finds strengths of players and builds on them. And that's what the Giants are doing right now, Anthony. How are you feeling after this big win?
I'm feeling amazing. I mean, the Giants are 2-0. Who would have thought that we would be saying that? If you asked me 2 weeks ago, are the Giants going to start the season off with 2 straight wins? I'd probably be like, probably not. I haven't seen the Giants win football games in so long, but now I see them win 2 to start the season, undefeated to start the season after 2 weeks. I mean, it's been so long since we've seen the Giants have a team capable of winning games like this, tough, ugly games. When games get ugly for the Giants, they usually fold in the fourth quarter and they blow it. Not now. Right now, I'm seeing phenomenal coaching to put the Giants in position to win. Are they winning in spite of some players? Honestly, yes. I think they might be winning in spite of Daniel Jones. But even in the fourth quarter, final drive of the game, Daniel Jones needs to make a play. He uses his legs, gets the first down, makes the clutch play. Julian Love, is he regarded as some great all-pro safety? No, but he was counted on in the fourth quarter, sent on that blitz, gets past Ike Ekwonu, gets the clutch sack to help the Giants win the game. And the most reliable kicker in the planet right now is Graham Gano. That man is automatic money. 56-yard bomb for the win. What a dub from the Giants, man. It was hard fought. It was a little bit ugly. It wasn't really a clean second half or first half. The whole thing was kind of ugly. Daniel Bellinger with a mean dive into the end zone. That was awesome to see the rookie really just put his life on the line and stretch out to get the ball across the plane. It was such a great performance from the Giants, and it's not like they dominated the game by any means. Like I said, it was ugly. It was close. They did play down the competition, in my opinion, because I think the Giants are the clear-cut better football team. But the coaching staff willed the way to victory. They willed the Giants to the wins both weeks, and it's really just so refreshing. It's so refreshing and so exciting to see a coaching staff this competent, this good, who goes out there. I mean, we saw some incredibly creative play calls from Mike Kafka today. The 3 running back set where Gary Brightwell takes it up the middle for like 15 yards. What a creative play call. That was awesome. And we saw a lot of plays like that. I saw so much pre-snap motion. I'm going off and off on a tangent right now, but dude, I'm just really excited to be 2-0 right now. Following the New York Giants for as long as I have and seeing them be so bad for the last 5 years. The New York Giants are 2-0. Let's freaking go, Giants fans.
Absolutely. And like I said before, let's talk about this defense, right? This defense stepped up huge. I mean, we're talking about a unit that was absolutely decimated by injury, and some of these guys really came to play today. And like I said before, Julian Love stood out to me the most. He finished the game with 8 total tackles. Imagine 8 sacks, 1 sack, and 2 tackles for loss and a quarterback hit. He had a huge sack at the end of the game on a 3rd down and long and stopped the Panthers from continuing their drive, and they had to punt and hope to stop the Giants once again. He had another one where he hit Baker Mayfield as he was throwing, like a play before that. Christian McCaffrey caught it right on the sideline. He was all over the place. Wink Martindale dialed up some unbelievably efficient blitz concepts, right? A lot of situations where he'd bring the safeties into the box and then drop them back into coverage and send them from different spots. I mean, I was just absolutely impressed. Like, there's nothing else to say. Wink Martindale's turned what seemed to be a band of misfit toys in terms of just like random players coming and filling gaps and filling needs because of injuries and turn them into a very competent offense. The Panthers have a pretty good receiving core, defense. The Panthers have a very good receiving core. DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, of course, Christian McCaffrey. They did a tremendous job stopping all of them. If not for Christian McCaffrey's one long 50-yard run, he had 15 carries for 102 yards. If you take away that 50-yard run, he didn't do anything. He was 14 carries for 50 yards, right? Like, that's it. He didn't really do much at all. Christian McCaffrey did not impact this game. He had 4 receptions for 26 yards. Didn't get into the end zone for the second consecutive week. DJ Moore was the only one that got into the end zone for the Carolina Panthers, and notably because Cordell Flott, who's a rookie, just got burned on 2 plays. Flott otherwise looked pretty good all game. The Giants did a really good job of helping him out with a very good pass rush. Oshane Ximines, as I mentioned before, huge shout out to Oshane Ximines. He had a fantastic day alongside Julian Love on the defensive side. And he finished with 2 tackles, a sack, a tackle for a loss, a pass defended, and a quarterback hit. He almost had an interception in that fourth quarter there too. Altogether, very impressed. The Giants' run stopping has been really good aside from the one long run. But I'm not holding that against them. McKinney had a really good game, 2 passes defended, had a couple of batted passes at the line of scrimmage. He looked fantastic. Dade Belton, first play of his NFL career, goes up and recovers a fumble on the kickoff. The Giants had a ton of fumbles today that they forced. Darnay Holmes stripped that fumble away. And the Adoree Jackson recovered it on the second, right on like the next drive after the Panthers got it back. And, Dane Belton had a pretty solid day himself. Darnay Holmes got beat a little bit in coverage, but that fumble, that's a huge play. That can't go unnoticed. So I know some people will kind of rag on Darnay for a couple plays. And yes, he got beat up a couple times, but that fumble was huge. That's really kept the momentum early on for the Giants at home. And home games haven't really meant much to the Giants in the past. They stepped up. The defense played hard. Wink Martindale dialed up one of the best defensive strategies I think I've seen in a while, and did it with pretty much nobody helping him in terms of just like all-star caliber talent, Pro Bowl caliber talent. Leonard Williams off the field. Dexter Lawrence has looked really good as a run stopper lately. How impressed are you from Wink Martindale's defense? And how excited are you to see Ojulari and Kayvon Thibodeau hopefully return next Monday against Dallas?
Man, I really hope that they're able to play, because I think you add those two into this defensive scheme and the Giants are going to get pretty scary. Now, the Giants' defensive scheme today was very much a bend, don't break defensive mentality. The Panthers had the same mentality. Both teams were really just playing bend, don't break. The red zone offense for the Giants is a whole nother discussion we could get into. Very inefficient, very sloppy play calling in the red zone, in my opinion. But the Giants' red zone defense, or the Giants' defense in their half of the field, was incredible. I thought it was spectacular. The way that Wink Martindale, yes, originally the Panthers will get on these long drives, get down into the opposing territory, but bend, do not break. Wink Martindale's defense was bending, and it refused to break. It was incredibly impressive to see him just call such clutch play calls defensively down the stretch. Once the Panthers were in the home stretch going for those points, that's when Wink Martindale really dialed things up, really took it to the next level, and shut them down. You mentioned it. He slowed down DJ Moore for the most part. He had the touchdown 50 yards. Robbie Anderson was slowed down for the majority of the game. And of course, Christian McCaffrey being slowed down, had one big run, 49 yards. Other than that, he only had 53 total yards in the game outside of that play. So it was just a phenomenal game from Wink Martindale. He got the most out of everybody. I just can't believe how well Oshane Ximines is playing. This is a player that we thought might not even make the final 53-man roster, and he's out here making plays on a weekly basis now. He looks great. Xavier McKinney looks great, playing that safety role, roaming around, getting passes defended, making some tackles. And of course, Julian Love, what a standout performance. The clutch sack at the end of the game for the win. But of course, he was also solid in coverage. I saw a whole lot from Julian Love that I like, and really just the entirety of the Giants defense. Once we throw in a little extra talent from these guys coming back from injury, again, it could get really scary. Jahal Ward had a couple really nice run stops as well. He's been a difference maker for the Giants' rush defense, which has been so freaking good. The Giants' run defense is really good right now. And of course, that was expected. You take a look at Wink Martindale, the defense that he's had over in Baltimore, always near the top in terms of rush defense. But now with the New York Giants having some great run defense here too, it's clearly showing that Wink Martindale is that guy. Hopefully he doesn't coach it up too well this year. He might be gone in a year with a head coaching job if he keeps this up. But man, I'm just so impressed by Wink Martindale, everything that he's doing defensively for the New York Giants. The scheme has been working to a T. Bend, do not break. And I can't wait to see those pass rushers hit the field hopefully next Monday against the Dallas Cowboys alongside the great Giants defense that's playing right now. Maybe we get a couple other players back from injury. It's going to be really, really fun. I'm so excited for the Giants right now, and I'm really confident in them. This is the best that I've felt for the New York Giants as a fan in the past 5 years.
I mean, guys, the Giants are winning games as a first-year rebuild squad right now. Do you know how exciting that is? That says a lot more about the coaching staff than anything else, in my opinion. The players are coming to play, of course, but the coaching staff is so much better than the first year of a rebuild. You know, we're guys, we have a $16 million a year receiver sitting on the bench because they don't want to play him. You know what I mean? Like, they don't feel like they need him. Straight up, they're like, we don't need Kenny Golladay. He's just here until we can get rid of him. That's essentially what's happening here. They pretty much won this game without Kadarius Toney as well. Sterling Shepard, Richie James, Saquon Barkley, that's all it took. And Graham Gano's freaking golden leg. That's all it took for the Giants to win this team, and a phenomenal defensive performance. But I'll tell you what, I do want to talk about some, analysis on some individual players. Of course, Leonard Williams' injury. I do want to update you on that. It was just kind of reported that he had a brace on his right leg, and he was like, I don't want to talk about it. He basically was like, I don't want to discuss it. I don't want to talk about it. To me, that doesn't sound so good. He got rolled up on the back of his leg. I saw the video. I posted it on Twitter if you haven't seen it, so you can go check that out. But he got rolled up on the back of his leg. He immediately started holding right where his ACL would be, I guess, right in front of his leg. And I don't know what it would be. I have no idea. We'll get more information. We'll report it to you as we find out. Definitely would be a significant blow. He has been reliable, to say the least, over the past couple of years. He's like barely missed any games, if ever missed any games. So, he's really stepped up and made an impact. So hopefully he's not injured significantly. It's just something that will keep him out short term. But I want to discuss Daniel Jones, Anthony. I want to discuss Daniel Jones and what we saw from him today. The first half for Daniel Jones was ugly. It was one of the worst performances I think I've seen from him, to be honest with you. He finished 22 of 34, 176 yards, a touchdown, 3 sacks, and he almost threw one of the ugliest interceptions I've ever seen. He threw it right to the boundary. It would have been the easiest pick six you could ask for. He didn't look good for the most part. Second half looked a lot better, put together some really strong drives, had some nice throws to Richie James specifically. He ran the football well. He had a couple of big 4th and 3rd down conversions on the ground. He had 10 carries for 21 yards. So he did a lot of damage on the ground, not so much receiving. But I do believe that Jones looked like a decent enough quarterback in the second half to justify, continuing to roll with him. I'm not looking to replace him with Tyrod Taylor anytime soon. I think that you're winning football games. You stick to what you got to go. I know a lot of people were yelling on Twitter at me, let's put Tyrod Taylor in, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that's too soon. It doesn't matter, right? Like, this is the first year of a rebuild. Let's see what DJ has. Maybe he has trade value in a couple of weeks if a team needs a quarterback. Who knows? I doubt it. But let's just continue rolling with DJ and see what he has to offer this team. He won this game today, so we'll give him the credit where it's due. But we have to see a lot more from him. We did not see a full composed game of Daniel Jones. Guys, go look at Tua Tagovailoa. He threw freaking 6 touchdowns today to come back and beat the Ravens. You know what I mean? They were down 21 points in the 4th quarter, and Tua mounted a monster comeback. And he is an extremely talked about quarterback in this league in terms of, is he good? Is he bad? He put together a game-winning 4th quarter that will go down as one of the best games this year, most likely. One of the best comebacks this year. Daniel Jones has never done something like that, really. We need to see that from Daniel Jones. When the team really needs it and they're down a couple of scores, he's got to mount 3 touchdowns consecutively and make a comeback. I'm not saying every quarterback has to do this, but that's what Super Bowl winning quarterbacks do. Is he in the future? I don't want to keep a quarterback around if they're not going to be capable of winning a Super Bowl. That's the ultimate goal for any football team. So you have to look on the longevity side of things. I liked his performance today in the second half. I was very happy with his game. He stayed poised. He was timely, accurate at times. First half was ugly. Took him some time to get into the game. I think he will get better as the season goes on. The offensive line was very spotty in the first half. I did not like how the interior looked. Andrew Thomas, Brian Burns beat the hell out of them all day. The interior really got exposed at times. Josh Azudu had some trouble. Bed Bredesen had some trouble. Feliciano had a lot of trouble. Glowinski, he was okay. What do you think needs to happen for Daniel Jones here? Your thoughts on him, his outlook for the rest of the season, kind of taking it 1 week at a time, in my opinion, but I think we do need to see a lot more.
Yeah, like I said earlier, it kind of feels like the Giants are winning in spite of Daniel Jones right now. I don't feel like he's propelling them to victory. He's not the reason that they're winning. In my opinion, the reason that the Giants have won these two games has been play calling and good coaching and defensive play. The offense has been really spotty, super inconsistent. They won last week because Saquon Barkley was awesome, but the passing game right now is kind of a mess. Everything is in shambles. Like Daniel Jones is inconsistent. He didn't throw any interceptions today, but he definitely could have thrown a couple. He had a couple really bad passes that totally could have been picked off. I will say, though, he is playing a clean game. He is playing to do just enough for the Giants to win. The run at the end was a very smart decision. We've seen him do that a few times in these first 2 weeks. Have the ball in his hands, under a little bit of pressure out of the pocket, just get the yardage. He's been very clean outside of the pocket, which I can appreciate. The fact that he hasn't forced any terrible plays while off script. He's actually been pretty smart with his decision making. There are the 1 or 2 plays per game where you're just like, oh, classic Daniel Jones, moronic play. But for the most part, he's playing clean football and he's doing just enough for the Giants to win. Is he propelling them to victory? No. But is he propelling them to losses? He's also not doing that. So right now, you got to stay with Daniel Jones. You're not making a QB change. No way. But you're definitely just going to want to just keep going along with Daniel, hoping that he's able to improve his play, be the reason that the Giants are winning games later on in the season. But for now, it's early on in the year. The receiving core is in shambles. Who knows what the hell is going on with Kadarius Toney and Kenny Golladay on a play-by-play basis. It's so random what the Giants are doing with the receiving core right now. Hopefully we get some questions and some answers to those questions during this week from the reporters, but I don't know what's going on there necessarily. I know that they're not keen on giving these players a ton of snaps, but Daniel Jones is getting by with what he has, and what he has to work with, it's not a whole lot. Keep in mind, he's playing with his starting tight end, who's a fifth-round rookie. He's playing with Richie James, who the Giants picked up this summer on a low-key contract. He's got David Sills out there catching passes, a practice squad standout player, right? So he's not working with a whole lot, so it's kind of hard to blame Daniel Jones at all times. Plus, he was sacked 3 times today and under pressure for the majority of the game. The offensive line struggled heavily, especially on the interior of the offensive line. Andrew Thomas, good as always. Evan Neal had his struggles. The left guard position, it's the left guard position still. So Daniel Jones, there are excuses to make for him, and I'm not making those excuses, but I'm saying this isn't the most quarterback-friendly environment right now, and Daniel Jones is doing enough to get by with the team. Is he standing out as a superstar? Absolutely not. Am I looking at him and saying, that's our future right there? That's our franchise quarterback? Definitely not. But what I'm saying is he is doing enough, kind of like the Jimmy Garoppolo thing. He's not losing the Giants games. So if he's out there managing the game well enough for the defense to get the win, or for Saquon Barkley to pop off and get us a win, then that's fine. Stick with him. See how far the Giants can make it this way. And if they got to make a switch in the offseason, that's a whole nother discussion for like 8 months from now. But right now, I'm happy with Daniel Jones and what he's doing. I think that it's okay to be an okay quarterback right now because the Giants defense is playing well enough. So until the Giants defense isn't playing well enough for Daniel Jones to get by at this level, I'm okay with the way that he's playing.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good take. I think that's a pretty fair take. You know, if they're winning games and he's not losing them games, I am content. But again, you know, being a playoff caliber team, you need to have exponential quarterback play. And I think that the Giants have yet to see that. And we'll see how things progress. You know, he's basically a rookie with a new staff. You know, he's going into a new system. He's trying to get his footing under him. The offensive line is fresh. They're new. They need time to gel. His $16 million receiver is basically non-existent. Kadarius Toney is not playing that much. It's not a great situation. His best receivers right now are Sterling Shepard, and David Sills and Richie James. And Sills got a lot of playing time today. I think that he's ultimately just already taken over Galladay's spot on the roster. I mean, I never thought I thought, like, you know, Sills' army was awesome. I never thought we'd see him play this much. You know, this is definitely surprising to me, but, you know, shout out to him for, you know, working hard and putting his best foot forward. And I think what the Giants are actually doing and what Brian Dable's doing is saying, Daniel, who do you trust out there? Who do you want out there? And I think he's like, I want David Sills out there. That's my guy. I have chemistry with David Sills. I don't think I can play with Kenny Golladay. I don't think that we mesh well. I don't know if that's true, but I think I kind of get the sense
if
that
that were true, I feel like we would see Darius Slayton playing though. So that's where,
maybe,
you know, because Darius Slayton,
but David Sills, like, why is Sills playing over Golladay or Toney? You know,
is
it makes
he
no
playing
sense.
poorly though? I think he's playing pretty well.
He is. He had some good blocks today, but that's what I'm saying though. Like, I think that Daniel Jones has good chemistry with him. I think maybe it's just another factor. Maybe it's just like an extra benefit to him being on the field. But he's played well. Like, he's had a couple of good moments today, David Sills specifically. So it's interesting. This is a very weird lineup the Giants continue to roll out on offense. The snap usage, the snap counts are very odd. We don't exactly know what's going on, but if I was to put my money on it, I'd say that Kenny Galladay is probably gone after this season. I'd probably say that they want that money back. That's probably why they restructured Leonard Williams' deal and not Kenny Galladay's deal, because they don't want to mess with that contract. They want to just get rid of it and not push any money down the road. Because otherwise, that would make more sense, because his contract is longer into the future than Leonard Williams. So it would make more sense to push that down the road. But clearly they would rather Leo on the team than Kenny. It's a very interesting situation. But nonetheless, this was definitely a great win for the Giants. 2-0, undefeated right now. We're heading over to Dallas. Are we hosting Dallas next Monday? Or are we going to Dallas next Monday?
I read that we are hosting Dallas MetLife 8:15 p.m. on Monday, and I can't wait.
I am very excited. Very excited to play Dallas. Hopefully we can turn the tables. It's been years of losing to that ass team. They're obviously dealing with some injuries right now with Dak Prescott out, and the offensive line's really beat up and kind of just thin at most spots. So very excited to see what the Giants can do. Hopefully Ojulari and Thibodeau are back, but nonetheless, shout out to O'Shea and Ximenez for having a great game, and Jihad Ward shutting it down in the run game. They have stepped up big time in the absence of those guys. So another indication of just great coaching all around and just wanting to play for this squad. And what's not to like? This is a great situation that we find ourselves in the first year of a rebuild. Screw our draft stock. I like winning a lot more than drafting first and waiting for that shit hole every single year just to see a team. The draft is a crapshoot, guys. At the end of the day, you don't know if the first overall pick is going to pan out. Look at Baker Mayfield talking shit about Daniel Jones. He's freaking lost to him. You know what I mean? Like, the draft is a crapshoot. It does not matter. I'd rather win games now and have positive progression than lose and hope for a quarterback. Like, that's just my preference. But I hope you guys feel the same way. I know we are all very excited about this Giants team. I hope you enjoyed this episode, breaking down and analyzing the win. And we'll look forward to this week as we get the film. We'll take a look at some of the offensive line play, some of the receiver play, take a look at Daniel Jones, what he's seeing, and the defensive side, of course. Definitely a lot to discuss. So I'm excited about that. But make sure to enjoy the rest of your weekend, my friends. Like, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next Fireside Giants episode.
TVSO.